Are you still denying the possibility of a super eruption? Twice as likely as an asteroid strike, according to some experts.
And half as unlikely as being struck by lightning.
Explosive drama, Super Volcano, tonight at 9 on BBC One.
Radio 1 are on tour all this month in America to find the best new music and bring it to you first. Join me, Zane Lowe, all this week from 7 p.m. only on BBC Radio 1.
An inspired Welsh team face the brave hearts of Scotland. Six Nations Grandstand here on BBC2 with Jill Douglas.
The Crimson Tide has flowed into Edinburgh, swelling the city's population by a reported 40,000.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Drifting on by, you know how I feel.
These dragon chasers have followed their team to Rome and Paris, and this weekend to Edinburgh. Wales now the only team able to win the Grand Slam.
And I'm feeling
Grand Slam dream has ended in tears here at Murrayfield. And so the stage is set for this much anticipated match. Beautiful crisp spring afternoon here, though bitterly cold. Things though will be heating up very shortly indeed. Well, a very warm welcome to Murrayfield for this RBS Six Nations Championship match between Scotland and Wales. And this, of course, the trophy that Wales will be hoping to lift in Cardiff next weekend. But of course, Scotland stand in their way today. Joining me to look forward to this match, well, Wales and Scotland both well represented in the shape of Jonathan Davis and Andy Nichol, and our impartial observer, Jeremy Guskett. We'll hear more from them in just a moment. First, so here's what we're going to bring you in the next few minutes as we head towards kick-off. We'll have the thoughts from inside the Scotland camp, courtesy of Andrew Cotter, who's been doing a bit of Scot spotting this week. And we'll hear from the Wales flanker, Martin Williams, so important to this Welsh team, and currently the joint top try scorer in this Six Nations Championship. All this as we head towards kick-off here at Murrayfield. It's Scotland against Wales, the action underway at 3 o'clock. Well, here are some of the fans heading into Murrayfield. They say 40,000 Welsh men and women are here. I'm sure not all of them will be coming to the game. I'm sure Scotland will be equally well represented. Not quite a sellout here. One or two tickets were remaining this morning. And that's the Scotland team arriving for this huge match, of course. A win against Italy 2 weeks ago. And that was their first win of this championship. But really, so much expectation from this Welsh team. And Andy, 40,000 Welsh spectators apparently in Edinburgh. I don't think I've ever seen as many Welsh men and women around, have you?
I was down at the in the town yesterday, and it was just covered in red, and they were all enjoying themselves, I assure you. So I reckon there'll be half and half in the crowd today, which for Scotland, for a home game, is disappointing, because they'll give a huge lift to this Welsh team to see so much red in the stadium, and they're so vociferous and vocal. It's going to make it hard for Scotland.
Huge occasion for Wales, Jonathan, isn't it?
Yeah, huge. You know, we've boosted the Scottish economy this weekend, so that's it, I think. No more, you know, things from Wales today. I think they've come up here, they're quietly confident. They've kept their feet firmly on the floor with Mike Ruddock. They know it's going to be difficult, but, you know, it's a great opportunity for them to come up here and then go back to Cardiff.
We can't overstate how much pressure is on this Welsh team, Jerry.
Yeah, but I was in the camp during the week chatting with the injured captain, Gareth Thomas, and it is so relaxed, but there's no arrogance, there's no massive expectation that, yeah, we're going to go to Scotland, we're going to win. I like the balance there. I think Mike Ruddock and his management have got it just right. I think the way they're performing, they should be, you know, up, they should be smiling, and I just hope they continue in the vein that they have done.
I think they're a happy camp. You know, you go down to the hotel now, and they're all smiles, they all enjoy each other's company, and that is vitally important, you know, for team spirit. Before, you know, when they had New Zealanders in charge, it was very dour, you know, pragmatic, and now, you know, they've got a smile on their face, and it shows.
I think it's because they're having a say. You know, I talked to Thomas about what's Ruddock like, and he said, well, he lets us do what we want, and it's a bit like Woodward when he had those big characters in the England squad. He seems confident enough to let Thomas and his boys do it, and that's what they're doing.
Well, they're certainly smiling after yesterday's games, because Wales are now the only team bidding for a Grand Slam after the French spoiled the Irish party in Dublin yesterday. Christophe Dominici really was the final nail in the coffin there. And that leaves the Six Nations table looking a bit like this. France now with a chance of winning this championship. Ireland also able to retain the triple crown. England finally getting off the mark there. But today's match so important, how events will be played out on Super Saturday next weekend. So Jonathan, how do you think this Welsh team will react to yesterday's result? Does it heap even more pressure on them?
No, I don't think. No, not really. I think the expectation is high in Wales. But you know, against England they could have lost that game. You know, they could have lost the game against France. And it's been a fantastic championship. So this is now all about today's game, not next week's. It's coming up here, getting results. You know, good Welsh sides have come up here before and got beaten by Scotland, and they know how difficult it is going to be. The first 20 minutes, and if they, you know, can be in front after 20 minutes, then Scotland will be in trouble, because Scotland's problem have been scoring tries. So on Wales, that hasn't been a problem in this tournament. But no, they've come up here, they're very confident, and they're going to go for the jugular today, I think.
Well, we'll soon find out. Let's hear what their coach had to say. Mike Ruddock was talking to John Beattie.
Mike Ruddock, welcome to Murrayfield. First of all, your reaction to yesterday's match with the Irish, how does that affect the way you think about today's game?
Well, it doesn't affect us really. You know, we've got a game plan in place, so we want to try and execute today. So obviously it was a very interesting game yesterday, and you know, well played France. But today is about us, and it's about Scotland, and it's how the two teams front up on the day and execute their game plan. You know, we obviously coming on the back of a couple of nice victories, so there's a quiet confidence in the camp. But at the same time, we realise we can't underestimate Scotland now. In particular, they've just recorded a victory as well.
It's hardly an away fixture in some ways. Someone in the SIU marketing department just told me that well over half the crowd could be Welsh.
Yeah, we just got some fabulous support. You know, it's been amazing. You know, to see all the red shirts on the way into the ground already today. And you know, they're very loud, they're very vociferous, they make a lot of noise, and they let the players know they're right behind them, so hopefully that can make a difference today.
You've been telling your players.
Well, there is the coin toss. Jonathan Kaplan, today's referee, and we can tell you that Wales won the coin toss. Now, this is what happened next. Michael Owen, of course, captaining Wales for the first time, and he wasn't entirely sure what he wanted to do, was he, Andy?
Yeah, Gordon Bullock's obviously said they're going to play left right, it would seem. But before that, Michael Owen ran outside onto the pitch to see Stephen Jones and Scott Johnson, the coach, to ask what to do, which I find from a captain's point of view is bizarre. It was a comedy moment, because Gordon Bullock was standing there with Jonathan Kaplan, not knowing what to do.
It probably shows how relaxed they are. It's something that they've not really thought about, but they're cool on the gang about it all. They're just like, well, okay.
It looked as if they won the toss anyway, Scotland.